What is up everyone, and welcome to some more F1 22 My Team career mode. This time we're going to be at the US Grand Prix, and I got to pick a new rival. There is no option here as far as I'm concerned. It has to be Leclerc. He's the only person of the options we had who's even close to us, and he's who we need to beat, you know. We've got 5 races left. I think we're currently 21 points down on him in the championship. We need to beat him on every occasion, you know. There's only, like I said, there's only 5 races left. We have to beat him. It's the only option. Last time out, we were in the Japanese Grand Prix, and you may remember that the regulation changes were announced, and they affect the chassis, powertrain, and durability departments. We managed to cover off all of the chassis and powertrain ones thanks to some saved up resource points, but we have to wait a little bit longer before we can do all the durability ones. I don't know if we'll get all of them done necessarily, but of all the departments, it's probably the least important one to cover off, I would say. In any case, you know, we've still got a lot to think about. You know, we got to make sure that we do get on top of all these, as many of these as we can, so we can focus in on more important stuff next season rather than having our car breaking down all the time, which it's still done 3 times this season, despite the fact that we have a maximum durability upgrade. Maybe it's the facilities I also have to upgrade or something in order to stop it from happening full stop. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, we got a lot to do, and obviously it starts with the USA. We got 5 more races, including this one. The other ones are Mexico, Portugal, Brazil, and Abu Dhabi. You know, none of these are particularly bad circuits for me, but I wouldn't say that my strongest circuits are here either, apart from maybe Brazil. Mexico I typically go quite well at, but I don't know if that's because I'm good at the track or whether it's just because, you know, the track is I get quite lucky there sometimes, I feel like. But yeah, we got practice first up, and it's P4 for us, ahead of quite a few cars. I had to scroll down to find Leclerc, and it turns out he only ran on hards, so that probably explains why he's all the way down in 19th. I doubt he'll be that far down the order come qualifying in the race, but I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, this is the championship now, is going to be, can we beat Leclerc in these races? We have to outscore him by 21 points. We will win on countback if we tie on points, unless he wins a lot of the races. But then again, if he wins a lot of the races going forward, he'll outscore me, and then it won't make a difference anyway. But I think he's won 5 races this season, and so far I've won 7, I want to say. Because I had 3 at the beginning of the season, and then I had a run where I won 4 out of 5 races between, I think it was Austria and Netherlands. I won 4 out of the 5 races in that run. So yeah, we're looking better than him at the moment, and if we continue winning races, then we should feasibly beat him in the championship. We've just had a bit less luck with regards to reliability and things like that. You know, I think he's only had 1 or 2 races where he's finished outside of the points, whereas, you know, we've had, I think, 4, because we had the 3 DNFs and also Monaco, which I don't want to talk about. We get into qualifying now, and you can see it is raining, which was slightly unexpected, but I guess it happens in Texas from time to time. We set a 1:49.7 to kick off the scoring, and it wasn't a particularly good lap, so I decided I was just going to immediately go around again on these wet compound tyres. I wasn't sure whether the track was going to improve over the course of the session or not at this point, so I was like, it's better to get fast laps in early if I can. And yeah, I mean, you can see we improved by almost 8 tenths. We're almost into the 1:48s now, and as far as a wet compound run was concerned, that was a time I was pretty happy with. So yeah, we get away with that for now, and you see as we come now onto the final lap, the track improved a bit onto Inter's conditions. We improved by about 5 seconds, and it was more than enough to get us through into Q3 and in P1 as well. But I think a large portion of that was probably to do with the fact that we got our run in right at the end. We were 4 tenths ahead of Russell. You know, we were a long way ahead of everyone, but I think that was in large part due to the timing of when we did the run more than anything else. But, I mean, who knows? I've been wrong about that kind of thing before. Maybe we do just genuinely have a lot of pace. We'll see if we can grab pole here. We've been pole merchants this season, you know. Even in races we haven't been winning, we've still been grabbing pole positions left, right and centre. You know, Japan was an example of that, the one that just happened. We got pole and then we got overtaken off the start line. Still in intermediate conditions for now, but it does look like the track is going to improve at some point. So we kind of just set a banker on these inters, a 140.5. It's not the best lap we could have done. But yeah, it seems like the track is improving, and we go on a set of softs for our final run. We need to improve a little bit. We are 8.4 tenths up. I'd wager to say it's going to be good enough. We set a 132.0, and that is P1 again. So we have made it through to Q3, it would be. But the shock of this session, and something that actually gave me a heart attack when I first saw it, is something that you were going to see, and maybe you've clocked it already by the fact that you can't see him in this top 10. Charles Leclerc is P16. He's out, or maybe he's P15, I don't remember. But either way, he's out in Q2 and will be starting from outside of the points. So, yeah, I have been handed a golden opportunity on a platter here, basically. They've said, yeah, here you go. Go take this result and run with it. And I am going to try and do exactly that. We're going to use set of softs to kick things off. It's a 132.3. It's not a bad time, but we will need to see a significant improvement over that if we want to get pole position. And God knows, I want pole position now. We come through to the final sector, and I'm already 6 tenths up on my previous lap, so I'm going to say that this is going to be a pretty good lap. But you know, we're still going to need to improve. We're all the way down in P8 at the moment, so it's going to need to be a good one if I want to pull this off. We continually improve. We're now about 8.5 tenths up, moving to 9 tenths almost, and we'll see what the final few corners have in store for us. See if we're able to make even further improvements. We actually lose a little bit of time as we come around the penultimate corner, but as we come around the final corner, can we make any more improvement? Yes, we can. We're going to be about 8 tenths ahead as we cross the line. It was a 131.5, and it's good enough to get pole position. So that is another pole in this career mode. I don't know how many we've had this season, but it's been a fair amount. Verstappen actually was only about a tenth and a half off of me. Porsche all the way down in P8, not a great result for him, especially because we got that maximum pace upgrade on him. I don't know what else I have to do to get him to be up here with everyone else. Maybe I have to upgrade his racecraft and everything as well, but I don't see why that would improve his qualifying performance. You know what I mean? So yeah, a bit weird perhaps, but I guess we'll just see what happens going forward. And yeah, it's really nice to see that we've got pole position, and we're just going to see if we can capitalize on this issue that Leclerc has. You know, if we win here, we could take the lead of the Drivers' Championship. If he finishes below 8th, we will take the lead of the Drivers' Championship, which with only 4 races to go after this race, that's a pivotal point to take the lead of the championship, and hopefully we can carry that momentum and continue running away with it. But yeah, it's a golden opportunity for us, and we have to try and maximize our points output here. The way I see it, you know, we can't make a single mistake going forward, because everything we do that moves us further behind. I even checked the driver standings to see what the gap was before this, and it's 21 points. So yeah, we have been given a major opportunity here, the way I see it, and we really need to do everything we can. It looks like it is going to rain at some point during the race, so that is another thing we have to be incredibly on top of. We can't mess up the strategy, we have to be perfect. And now it's time for us to get into the race.
Welcome once again then to the United States Grand Prix here in the magnificent city of Austin. It was here in 2018 that Kimi Räikkönen delighted the world by taking the top step of the podium for the first time in 114 races. There's always a record to be broken, so what, I wonder, is in store for us here today? We're racing today then in Travis County, Texas, where 20 corners and speeds of up to 200 miles per hour await us on this magnificent racetrack. It's 60% full throttle with plenty of good opportunities to pass, especially through the 2 DRS zones into turn 1 and the long back straight into turn 12. What a race we have in store today. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Robinson lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Ricciardo, Teo Pourchaire and Ocon, Gasly, Russell, Schwartzman and Yuki Tsunoda, Lundgaard, Norris, they've taken a grid penalty, Oscar Piastri and Perez, Albon, Sainz, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, Guan Yu Zhou and Nicholas Latifi, Mick Schumacher, Magnussen, Stroll and Charles Leclerc completes today's grid order. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. Natalie Pinkham joins me once again in the commentary box. It's fantastic to have you with us today. I'm curious though, how do you think the drivers stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn one, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It'll keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
We're still in with a chance of winning this title. We need you to push as hard as you can in the 5 remaining races.
And indeed we are still within a chance of winning this title, and a bigger chance has opened up. As if Leclerc's poor qualifying wasn't enough, he's decided to take a grid penalty, which means he will be starting from the back of the grid. He will be starting in last place. We have the option to start on soft compound tyres. I really was debating whether this was the right option or not for a long time, and in the end I decided it was. I saw Verstappen and Alonso on the mediums, and I was wondering maybe this isn't the right play, I'm not sure. But, I know rain is coming at some point, and it was basically just a question of, do I think it's going to come after the length of a medium stint? Because if it does, then obviously that's fine, everyone will have stopped. But if it comes if it comes between where short runners stop and medium runners stop, we are going to be in a world of trouble. Because we will have stopped, and then we'll have to stop again when the rain starts coming down to fit the inters. And Verstappen, Alonso, all these cars ahead of me could easily inherit my position. So yeah, it's a nervy time to be me, but we'll see what we can do as the lights come on. And the lights go out. We switch to the replay camera, and you can see that Verstappen has had a pretty good start there, given that he's on the medium compound tyres, and he's already going to be challenging me up into turn one. You can see he brakes a little bit later. We're going to try and sweep around the outside of him, though. We managed to pull it off. He doesn't have the run out of turn one, and as we come into the twisty Maggots and Beckett section, we are currently leading the Grand Prix in our Jaguar car. But yeah, not particularly comfortable behind us. We've got the likes of Verstappen, and then I think it's actually Ocon and then Alonso making up the places behind. I think Pourchaire's lost a little bit of ground off the start as well as we come on the run down the hill towards the main DRS straight of this track. And yeah, we are currently out in front, but these soft tyres are going to go off very quickly, and then we're going to have to mount a pretty solid defense if we want to hold on to this position with as many cars as there are going quickly behind us. I think that's Gasly maybe, or Tsunoda, I'm not sure, in P5 at the moment. We'll find out at some point, I'm sure. I think it's Gasly, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, it's not too bad. Leclerc, I don't think, has made up too many positions off the start. I think he's only up in sort of P19, P18. Ideally, what I want is for him to finish no higher than P8 here. So if he can not do that, that would make my day, quite frankly. And yeah, as we come round to the end of the lap, you can see we're still leading pretty comfortably, but we're gonna have to keep pushing quite hard, whilst also managing these tyres for the first 7 or 8 laps of the race until we come into the box, because like I said, they're going to degrade quite quickly. I think these are actually used tyres for some reason, despite the fact that we didn't use a bunch of tyres in the qualifying session because it was raining for a lot of it. You can see now Verstappen's attacking me into turn 1 as we come onto lap 4. I'm going to try and do the same thing again, sweep around the outside of him, but this time he has a bit more traction and he's going to continue to be side by side as we come down the hill. I don't have much grip at this point, so I couldn't help but squeeze him out if I was keeping my foot in, and as a result he loses a bit of ground now as we come through this this twisty fast left-right section. I have to get off the throttle a lot here because the grip is just not there at this point. You know, these tyres are not having a good time of things. So yeah, the tyres are already going off. You know, I'm already getting warnings from Mark saying be careful, I think you're going to lose some tyre grip soon. You know, it's lap 4, man. Like, we are really not in a good position on these tyres right now. I don't know what possessed them to think that I might be able to carry a set of soft tyres. Really, I feel like I should have started on the mediums and maybe I would be in a bit more competition. Verstappen tries to go around my outside here. I'm going to try and dive up the inside. We don't really have that much tyre grip left, but what we do have is some not great driving etiquette. So yeah, we just completely cut him off as we dive into that corner, and yeah, that allows us to keep hold of the position for now. We are still in the lead as we come on to lap 6 and we come on the run down to the DRS straight. Verstappen tried to go up my inside, he doesn't quite manage it, but he will have the DRS here, so we're going to have to try and do everything we can, burning as much of this battery as we can to hold on to the position. You can see the Verstappen is going to try and come up my inside here, and I've missed a trick. One thing I've been noticing in a few races recently is I've been starting really over-fueled, so I really need to pay attention to my fuel gauge. You know, we haven't had any safety cars so far, and I'm on plus 5 laps of fuel. I can only assume that that is because I accidentally overfueled the car because I wasn't paying attention. So that might explain, honestly, why some of my starts have been quite poor. If the cars around me are not fueling up as much as I am. And Verstappen actually makes a bit of contact there with us as he tries to dive up our inside, but it was just wheel-to-wheel contact. We don't have any damage. I'm trying to check where Leclerc is at the moment. That's what I'm most interested in. You can see that he's in last. I think he's already pitted, actually. Ocon tries to go around my outside. Verstappen's gone up my inside. I think I'm going to have to see these positions, but I actually got up the inside of both of them through the middle. Yeah, that's not how you overtake ever. But somehow I managed to make it work, and we hold on to this position, despite the fact that I think we actually are stopping on this lap. I think the initial strategy was lap 8 stop, but I adjusted it by 1 lap because these tyres are just so screwed that I couldn't possibly imagine staying on them for any longer. So yeah, lap 7 we're going to come in the box and fit a set of mediums. Honestly, I could have stopped literally whenever. I could have stopped on lap 1 and I don't think it would have made a difference, because, you know, these tyres are just absolutely done at this point. But yeah, we're going to fit a set of mediums now, and these are going to last us until the rain, whenever that may come. And yeah, we'll see if we can get a good stop here. It's pretty fast, it looks like. Yeah, 2.3, no real qualms with that one. And we come out and we're going to be in, I think, P18 or 19. Let's see whether we can get out ahead of Latifi or not here. It looks like we just about can, so yeah, that's nice to see. And now we're going to try and get ahead of some of these cars ahead of us to start making our way back up the order and see if we can claw our position back. Piastri is DNF'd. You can see him off the side of the road there, so that's 1 position already gained back for us up into 17th. And yeah, we're just going to see if the rain can hold off until the medium compound runners pit. It should probably be around lap 13 or 14, I imagine, that they would pit. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen with that, but you know, we'll have to wait and see. It looks like the rain isn't too far out. You can see that these clouds are looking very imposing now. The track is getting very grey. So yeah, I'm a little bit nervous as far as that's concerned. We're going to see now if we can get ahead of Schumacher. We've got the battery, we've got the DRS, he's got no DRS, so should be a fairly easy move. We're going to bait him to the inside and go to the outside, and see if we can drive around the outside of him like we have with a number of other cars. We got a little bit deep into the corner, but it's okay, and yeah, make the move quite comfortably. Now move on a little bit further through the lap, and we're going to try and overtake Magnussen, Schumacher's former teammate, who is now at the absolute flop team that is Aston Martin. You've never seen a team that is this disappointing in this championship, and I mean, that was too easy, really. You know, I don't know what the hell he was doing, but yeah, we just managed to exploit a bit of track position and go for a gap, you know, and he was powerless to really do anything. And now we're going to set after Albon and see if we can make our way back up into the points. A number of cars in the pits there, you can see, and they've all come out as well, Ocon included. We're still ahead of him, so this bodes well for the kind of pace we were showing. You know, we were running sort of side by side with him before the pit stop phase. So yeah, if Verstappen does pit, I think that we probably will be able to overtake him, but not if we are going for foolish moves like we were on Albon there. Can we do the same thing we did to Kevin Magnussen to him? No, he decides he's going to close the door on us. We get a corner cutting warning. I'm going to say that's not really my fault. He wasn't really giving me any room to go. You know, I didn't want to make contact with him, but that's what the game decided, I guess. So yeah, now we're going to have to try and get ahead of Albon. Someone's in the pits. We actually got up the inside of Albon at the final corner, and not a conventional overtaking spot. I think this is Sonoda in the pits here. Yep, so we've inherited P7 now, and yeah, a few more cars for us to get ahead of, and then we'll be back into the top 5, and I guess we'll see whether they're going to pit still, but I'm curious as to what the gap between myself and Verstappen is. There's not really any way to check it at the moment. We're going to see if we can go up the inside of Joe here. We brake a little bit later than him, go quite deep into the corner, but we have made the move stick on Zhou Guanyu, and we're up into P6. And this is Christian Lundgaard now, who is yeah, looking pretty spicy in this race. P5 at the moment. He'll be P6 after the pit stop phase, or after I've overtaken him, rather, I should say. I don't know where he'll be after the pit stop phase. But yeah, no, I mean, it looks pretty good for him. On the off chance that there's no reason for him to pit, there's no rain yet, so I feel like these guys probably will pit unless the rain comes down quite quickly. Yeah, he's in a really strong position. You know, he'll be scoring big points. I don't think he's scored any points this season so far, so yeah, it could be a golden opportunity for him. We try and go around the outside at turn 1. He cuts us off a little bit, goes quite deep into the corner, but we do manage to make the move work, and we're up into P5. And you can see that my teammate Pourchaire, Carlos Sainz, and I think it's Alonso and Verstappen are the other two, are a long way up the road from us at the moment. I don't know if they're quite a pit stop phase ahead. We cut the track there again. We need to be careful now, or we're going to get a penalty. And yeah, now we're having a look. Unfortunately, as you can see, the rain came down exceedingly quickly and kind of fucked me completely, basically. Yeah, lap 13, start of lap 13, no rain. End of lap 13, it was already wet enough to come onto intermediate tyres. We have to double stack with Théo Pourchaire. It's basically the only option, and we're going to see if we can get a quick stop. 2.0 seconds. That is a exceptionally quick stop. I didn't even know that the stops could get that fast, quite frankly. But yeah, unfortunately, that now means we are in P5 in this race. Like, now our track position is P5, and we're going to have to see if we can catch the cars in front. And unfortunately as well, I think this gap is only getting bigger and bigger at the moment. So it seems like we might only be outscoring Leclerc by sort of 10 points or so in this race at the moment, unless we can make some big moves soon. I don't think that's going to happen though, so yeah, it looks like we might have to be sort of settling for the position we find ourselves in now. But yeah, 10 points is still a big gain. It puts us only 11 points behind him, 4 races to go after that. It's definitely a recoverable amount of points if he, you know, maybe has a difficult race, or even if we just win and he comes second, we can overtake him within 2 races like that. So yeah, I wouldn't be against that. We just need to showcase some strong pace over these next few races. It's kind of, I feel like a broken record at the moment. Unfortunately, you can see that this gap is continually increasing both behind and ahead of me, and we're falling further and further into a sort of no man's land. So yeah, it's not looking great for us. But yeah, what was I saying? I feel like a broken record in the sense that I keep saying we just need to push really hard on the remaining races. But that's all we need to do, you know? We just need to win. It's like that meme of Ferrari after they were really far down on Verstappen in, I think it was after France when Leclerc had that unfortunate crash. And everyone was saying, like, oh, now Ferrari needs to win every race if they want any hope. And Mattia Binotto said something along the lines of, oh, I see no reason why we can't win every race going forward. I don't think they won a single one, right? Am I right in thinking that? I think the only person that won that wasn't Verstappen or Perez was Russell. This is Pierre Gasly, who's retiring from the race, and yeah, that's not a great position to retire in. I wouldn't be surprised if this is some kind of VSC at least, or safety car or something like that. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, that's him retiring from, I think, P6 or 7, so unfortunate for him, but position gained for Ocon as a result. Ocon up into P7 now, and yeah, his retirement has resulted in a VSC. So we're going to have to slow down a little bit. You can see that Sainz and Porsche are a long way ahead now. The thing is that the track had pretty much gotten wet enough to kind of be wet conditions, but I didn't think it would be worth going on to a set of wets for only a few laps, if that makes sense. Like, I for 4 laps on wets, I don't think it would have made that much of a difference. But the issue is that I have no grip, no heat in my tyres, no pace on these tyres, quite frankly. And yeah, I'm really starting to struggle now. So you can see Lundgaard and Ocon are closing me up. They'd already closed me up by about a second in that final sector. And I mean, things are starting to look pretty hopeless as this track just gets wetter and wetter. We need to be on a set of wet tyres. I don't know how they're getting heat and grip into their tyres. Something seems a bit fishy. I don't know whether this is an issue with the game or something like that to just drop you out of your immersive realism for a second there. I do think this is a problem with the game, because in 1 lap they managed to close me up by 4 seconds there, and in this lap it looks like they're going to do pretty much the same. You know, I'm just powerless. You can see as I come through these corners, I'm so slow compared to them. They are gaining so much on me with traction and stuff like that. I don't know how they're doing it, but this really did seem like an issue with the game. You know, if I'm this slow on the inters in conditions that probably are becoming of wet tyres, I can't see how they're going to be 3-4 seconds faster than me per lap when they're on wet tyres as well. You know, I'm weaving about a little bit, but you see as I come out of this final corner, he's just got so much more traction than me. It's not even a competition. You know, he is steaming away from me. I try and dive up his inside to hold on to this position, but I brake too late and I go over the track, and that gives the position not only to him but also to Ocon. But there was kind of no point really fighting it anyway, because I don't think I would have been able to hold them off. You know, through every corner they just had exceedingly superior traction to me, and that's really annoying that we've unfortunately had to concede a couple more positions. Now I just hope that we can hold on to this P7 and that Albon doesn't have enough pace to catch us up before the close of the race. But it means that we're only going to be getting 6 points in this race, and you know, that's not really what we wanted. When Leclerc's finishing outside the points, I wanted to win this Grand Prix. You know what I mean? I think if maybe we'd started on a set of medium tyres, perhaps we might have finished P5 in this race. But even then, with this issue, I don't think we would have finished any higher than P5. So, yeah, I'm a little bit frustrated. It felt like there was pretty much nothing we could do here to close out a win. You can see how much I'm struggling, and you can see how quickly Albon is closing me up. He's 5 seconds behind as Max Verstappen wins the race. And yeah, he's one of only 2 drivers this season that's won a race that isn't me or Leclerc, the other one being Lando Norris. In that case, I guess it's been kind of an uncompetitive championship, even though it feels like it's been pretty close. Yeah, we're just trying to do everything we can now to hold on to this position, to make sure that we don't lose out to the likes of Albon and Ricciardo. And I mean, there's enough cars there in that train that we could fall out the points if they catch us. So we need to just make sure we can get across the line. You can see that Ocon and Lundgaard have pulled away from me by about 5 seconds over the course of this lap. It's kind of a joke, but there was nothing I could do. You know, there was no grip in these tyres whatsoever, but for some reason the AI could find it where I just couldn't. So we crossed the line and it's only P7, and yeah, disappointing given that we got pole and we're looking like a shoe-in for the win. We just messed up on the strategy, and then, you know, this tyre thing at the end screwed us a bit as well, I think. So disappointing, but what can you do?
For another magnificent United States Grand Prix, and they've hung on to take a sublime victory here today. So Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we could talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those that we've witnessed today.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
I am anything but delighted by today's race win, actually, Crofty, because yeah, I feel like I probably had the possibility to win this race. You know, I think once I'd got onto those medium compound tyres, if I'd have started on the mediums, I genuinely think there was a chance for me to win this race. If that tyre thing didn't happen with the inters, then I feel like I could have held on to win this. But I mean, who knows? Anyway, that's enough moaning now, I think.
Our championship leader is still sat at the top of the standings, but their rivals have made up some solid ground today. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Natalie Pinkham, come on, who do you pick?
Carlos Sainz would be my first choice for this race. He had excellent race stamina, giving him the opportunity to charge through the ranks.
Let's move on to the constructors. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
So, we are now only 15 points behind Leclerc in the championship. We can definitely still recoup this. I just wish that we could have outscored him by more. You know, we had a chance to take the lead here, or even if we'd have got P5, we would have outscored him by 10 points. We'd only be 11 points behind, which is, you know, and very easily recoverable. Then I could literally, you know, we could finish P2 and P3 every race, and I would still beat him. But you know, this is a difficult spot that we find ourselves in, but I reckon we can make it work. You know, I was thinking after I upgraded Pourchaire's pace that he would just be blitzing every race, but that has not happened so far. So maybe I need to give him some more upgrades, and we'll see what happens. But either way, Verstappen is the only driver other than myself and Leclerc who is still mathematically in with a chance of winning this championship. 112 points left on offer because the sprint race counts for 8 as well in Brazil. And yeah, that is going to be a thing that we're going to have to you know, try and capitalize on as well, because if we mess up in the sprint race, which we have been known to do in the past, you know, I've bottled those sprint races pretty hard. Every point counts going forward now. I need to outperform Leclerc in Portugal, in Brazil, in Abu Dhabi, and also Mexico, which is the race coming up after this one. I like I said, I typically get pretty lucky around Mexico with regards to things like safety cars and stuff like that. That's how I scored my first points in Formula One in season 1, and yeah, I think I was at a podium there in I think it was season 2. I can't have been season 3 because I retired there in season 3. But I seem to remember, maybe I didn't get a podium, but I remember it being a pretty strong result for the pace of my car in season 2. Yeah, it's just showing me a montage of me making overtakes before it's going to show me a highlight of me getting overtaken due to some issues that were kind of out of my control, really. I don't know if this was a game issue or what, but either way, it's not fun to have that happen to you on the final lap of the race, and yeah, slightly frustrating. But either way, I'm looking forward to these final few races. I really do think we're still in the championship fight. It might go down to the wire, but I see no reason why we can't close this championship out still. You know, with only 15 points, I think it's still anyone's game. We don't even outperform him in the rivalry in the race because, you know, for some reason that's not instantly outscoring them. If they get a faster lap than you over the course of the race, you can get equal points. That never made any sense to me personally, but what do I know? I think by the end of the season, especially if we win this Constructors' Championship, which we're still in with an outside chance of doing, by the end of the season we should be Team Acclaim level 25. That will allow us to put one more sponsor on the car. At some point I actually need to remember to put sponsor stickers on the car because I still haven't done that, and we're towards the end of season 4. But yeah, next up is Mexico, so you don't want to miss that one. It's going to be a cracker, and that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure you like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.